Hello guys, it's me, lhcloudy here. I am currently the most highest Reinhardt player playing ranked in OW2, and I'm here to teach you how to play Reinhardt today and win every single game you play in ranked. My credentials are: I've currently peaked rank 3 playing OW2 in ranked. Currently I'm rank 9 in European ladder, only playing Reinhardt. Plus 80 hours on Reinhardt right now, and I have over 240 wins on tank. So I'm gonna explain how to win on Reinhardt every single time today on this video. So I'm gonna go over the basics of Reinhardt here. Reinhardt is a 625 HP tank. Half of your HP is armor, half of your HP is health. Armor, you take less damage, it's very easy stuff. And then for your primary gun, I like to call my hammer a gun because it's more cool, right? So for your primary gun, you have the hammer, right? And so you wanna swing the hammer and just 85 damage per swing. It takes 3 swings to kill the tankiest DPS in the game, and it takes a lot of swings to kill a tank. Let's say you're swinging on a Reinhardt, it's gonna take you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and that's gonna be important later while I showcase that there, but that's like your primary gun. And then I would say your poke tool and how you farm ult charge tool, the fire strike. Fire strike is like a very basic ability at the basic level, right? Like you just throw a fire strike and you gain ult charge. And you know what's 2, because it's number 2 version of the game, you have an extra fire strike. So you just use fire strike of cooldown and like you just get ult charge, you know? Like then you have your next ability is called the charge, and you like pin forward and you charge, you can like turn around a little bit with it, and that's how you do that one there. You just pin and it does 225 damage, so you can almost one-shot any squishy in the game with it. And then you have what I like to call the utility tool. You hold shield and you block damage for yourself and your teammates. Shield is 1200 HP and regens when you don't take damage for a few seconds, like this. It's going to regen, yeah. And then for your ultimate ability, probably my favorite ult in the entire game is the Earth Shatter. You click Q and you stun the enemy for 2 seconds and they cannot move because they are stunned. Okay, and then I'm gonna give you an advanced advice for every single ability. Let's start with the hammer. There's a lot of new players coming in the game and a lot of people don't know this. You see, like Reinhardt swing, it's like this distance, right? You see, there's a lot of new, I'm gonna give you an advice tip for every single ability in the game. Reinhardt swing, there's like a certain distance, right? Like it looks like you cannot hit the Winston, right? But if you swing like this, you hit the enemy further distance, you see? If you shake your screen like this, you hit the enemy from further away.
That's what happens when you get too close.
And then fire strike. Fire strike is a very basic ability at the fundamental level, right? But the best way to use fire strike, in my opinion, is if you want max damage DPS. Like this is how you max damage DPS combo a Squeezy or anyone. You go swing, fire strike, swing, fire strike, then you swing, swing, swing. And look how fast you kill. Compared the speed of what you kill a Squishy compared to you just swing, 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 yeah? But because fire strike cancels your swing ability, right? And this is how you DPS combo down a DPS. You fire strike, swing, fire strike. It's much faster to do DPS to cancel your hammer animation with the fire strike. Then for charge, you can throw people off the map with charge pretty easily, right? So usually you want to hit them in the wall, but let's say you pin at Zarya, right? Like Zarya is not gonna get monster, right? You have pin cancel. You can cancel the pin, right? So you click charge, and then you pin, and then you smack her off the map.
Express delivery to certain doom.
Like it is very important that you smack them off the map, though. Like let me show you again. Like I pin them off, he's still on the edge, and then I smack him. Like smacking the character gives it extra momentum. You smack it in the way you pin it, like this. And then Earth Shatter. So for an example, Winston. Winston has 500 HP, right? Like usually if you Earth Shatter him and do this, you can't kill him. He's still alive, right? Like he has like 100 HP. But for the advanced Winston, advanced Reinhardt thing, how you can kill a Winston Shatter. If you have this Shatter thing in front of you, that does extra 250 damage, right? I mean, it does extra 200. You have this thing in Shatter called, I like to call it the blob. There's like a small radius in front of it that does extra 200 damage. So if I do this, I can kill the Winston. You go really close to Winston. Don't go too close though, because sometimes it doesn't work. A little bit of a distance like here, and then you shatter the Winston, and then boom, boom, Winston's dead because of the extra 200 damage. And that's pretty much how Reinhardt abilities work. Just remember to fire strike cancel your swing. It's very important. I'm gonna explain to you now strategies how to win in Reinhardt with almost every situation now. For Reinhardt here, there's a lot of things that happen. A lot of new players and a lot of older players to like make a big mistake with Reinhardt. Like you guys have 625 HP, right, and 1200 shield. So most of the time people are just gonna sit here and let the shield get destroyed. Before letting your entire shield destroy, you have so much health to take damage with your health instead of the shield. It's like the optimal way to play Reinhardt, and I will show an example of this soon, is you take damage, and when you're about to die, your shield should die. Like if your shield dies when you're 625 HP, you have misplayed the fight. Like you should be shielding until the bitter end. Like most of the time your shield will just die before you're about to die, but if your shield dies when you're full HP, you have not utilized your big health. This is another situation about charge cancel. Right here you're about to see what you can do with charge cancel, like the absolute power of Reinhardt's charge cancel. Like charge cancel is such an incredible ability, like it opens Reinhardt to be played like a dive hero. Like here you see in the OW1, you probably will not go for the Ana, because at Reinhardt and one tank in OW2, you have to go on the squishes. Like you have to attack the squishes. Here, I could make a decision, right? I could swing on the D.Va or go for the squishes. But I have pin cancel, so I can quickly reach the Ana and I can pin cancel to block the sleep. Like this is what you have to do. You have to pin cancel on, if you play against Ana, you pin cancel and go on them. Like pin cancel is such a strong ability, you should always pin cancel on the enemy squishes and kill them instead of hitting the tank. Never, this is my number one advice, only hit the tank if you cannot reach any other character. Like as you can see, the D.Va is gonna dive my squishes. Like this D.Va is a good player. He's gonna dive my squishes and you should always dive their squishes. Like here, let me show you an example. I pin cancel, I turn around, I shield the sleep. Ana throws sleep into my shield, because I use pin cancel and then I go on him, and then the Ana is a free kill. Boom, enemy support dead, easy. And then the fight goes on from there, but you got the opening kill on support. Because you have to understand that if a Reinhardt can swing on a squishy character, they're going to die. Like Reinhardt is a dive character. You have to dive. The best way to play tank, and I can promise you, is play Reinhardt. You need to play extremely aggressive in every single situation in the game. I'll show you another example and then I'll explain to you later how you should play tank in OH2 to win more. Here, I'll show you another example about being an alpha tank player. This might look really silly, but here on Nepal, I always scout here. I hold shield and you can third perspective see the choke. So here, I'm going to see the soldier come in and see what I do. This is how you need to think and act like if you're a tank player. I see the soldier come up, and I solo soldier and kill him. I solo soldier the soldier and kill him. Because this is what you do. As a tank player, you need to deal with the squishes. You need to be, as a Reinhardt, you need to think like you're the most alpha chat, giga chat, dumbest player in the whole world. Like you have to believe in it and you have to do dumb stuff. Like doing dumb stuff wins you on Reinhardt. Playing normal does not win on Reinhardt. It is so vital to you that you play as dumb and aggro as possible on Reinhardt. That is how you win. That is the Reinhardt playstyle. Let me talk about the mentality of Reinhardt. How you wanna treat and approach every single ranked game. As a Reinhardt player, you need to be aggressive on all situations of the game. If you're not aggressive, you're going to lose. As a Reinhardt, the best way to play the game, and as any tank, is to be as aggressive as possible. Like the more aggressive the tank is, the more you're going to win. Sometimes you might feed and fail, but that's okay. Like nobody's perfect, nobody plays perfectly, but always, always, always be aggressive. Every single time you go on Reinhardt, you have to make a move. You have to pin on the enemy backline, pin on the squishes, hit the tank, solo side of the tank, move the point. Never be shielding your backline and doing nothing. Because this is a one tank game. If your tank is shielding your backline, that means you're not doing anything. And the best way to enable your DPS is not to shield them, is to pin into the enemy team and swing on their squishes. If there is a Reinhardt on the enemy team backline, your DPS are probably free firing. But if the enemy tank is good, the tank will go on the DPS. But a lot of times, people are going to panic and they're going to 5-man peel you. And then you just need to do as much damage as you can and try to live as long as possible, and your DPS should be able to clean the job. So always buy space, make moves. That is how you win on Reinhardt. As you can see here, guys, these are my Reinhardt statistics from OW2 ranked. I have pretty much only played Reinhardt. Sometimes I play some other roles. As you can see, I have 81 hours on Reinhardt already into the game, 2.5 weeks after launch. And my next played tank is Diva with 3 hours. Because there are 2 maps I don't play Reinhardt on. I know it's crazy, but it does happen. There's 2 optimal ways to do Reinhardt. You go on the backline, you go crazy and you move the point, or you tell your teammates the magical words, don't die guys, I'm gonna move the point, we'll win. Don't die and just move point. That is a very good way to play Reinhardt. Those are the 2 major ways you win in ranked as tank. In OW1, tank should take space and go everywhere, but if you're playing payloads as a circle trial for example, like you sit on point. Like I see all these tank players pushing up and then the squeeze just dies on point. In OW2 you are the point, you will sit on the point. You're either going on the backline inting in or you're moving the point. But most of the time on payload and hybrid, when the payload is open on attack and defense, I recommend you just sit on the point. That is very powerful. If you sit on the point, there is no character in the game that can kill Reinhardt. So very important part of tank play is moving the point. It is the tank's job undeniably. There is no other character that should move the point. Like 90% of the time you should always be on the point as Reinhardt. As you can see from my POV, I'm just going to sit on point here. I'm gonna double speed this and you just see how long I stall the point. Like you see, enemy ball is on my backline here. Enemy ball and Kiriko is on my backline, but it does not matter. Like the ball is gonna die to my backline and I'm just sitting here living. Like you see, it's over or it's been 30 seconds of the ball. I'm going to double speed again. It's been 30 seconds into the game and they have not moved the payload past the first corner. Now the ball is shooting me, like the ball can't do anything. Like you're just sitting on the point, you have very powerful precision. There's nothing they can do. Now your video is getting picks here, here you're sitting on the point, sit on the point. Now you just hope here, you hope your backline doesn't die. Your backline is dying right now, but that's okay. It's already been a minute. And because you stood on point for 1 minute, enemy has gotten no space, move the point, and then you can recontest the point again. So guys, remember that sitting on the point is how you win in the game. Getting kills does not matter. The point is the only thing that matters at the end. It is an extremely vital tip on tank I can give you. I'm gonna show you how to retake space with Reinhardt, right? Let's look at the mid-down choke. Like usually this is a very hard place to come up with. So you need drastic matters, right? So I'm gonna show you guys what you should every time you walk to take a choke. So you need to do very drastic moves here, okay? And here my friendly Anna, my boy Tsuppe has nano boost, right? So here in voice I was telling Tsuppe, yo, are you ready to nano me? And then the Tsuppe says yo yo. And then I'm going to pin and take space. Also very good sleep by Tsuppe, but like this is what I mean. Even if this monkey is not sleeping, you still hit the pin. Like when you need to take spaces right now, you just pin on like a crazy guy and walk forward like a crazy dude. And that's how you take space and we win the fight because I'm a crazy guy. This is an example of another thing as a tank. It's really important sometimes not to die. If you don't die, the fight is always winnable. Like as a tank, there are 2 characters in the game that cannot die pre-fight. That is Flex Support, aka Anna, Zen, Baptiste, Moira, and even Kiriko now, right? And then there's Tank. If Tank dies pre-fight, it's extremely hard to win if you don't have like a forward advantage. If Flex Support dies, it's extremely hard to win because you have no healing, right? So, here I'm gonna show you a fight, and then I'm going to explain to you what's really important. How I clutch this fight here. Okay, pay attention. Also, solo shattering people, very good play. Like solo shattering here, this is an extremely vital kill because my backline is currently getting it. Let me pause here. Like right now, it's looking really bad for us. I'm on point, but I know, because I have played a lot, that I know one of my backliners died, and I know there's a Winston on my backline right now. So me shattering to kill Sojourn is very important because the game is a 4v4 now. If I don't shatter and kill the Sojourn here, and Sojourn also has ult, we're probably losing. So here I hear the trank, and at the bottom of my eye I see my teammates are in spawn because the monkey jumped in and there's a trank here. So I'm going to make the decision to run away and go to my team. Right. So here we are 3v3. I lost my flex support, so I know we have really long. But here I click tab in game and I see that we almost have rally. So here I make the call to my team that we should play to live. We have rally, I can touch the point. Also really important guys, in overtime situation and clutch fights, if you're a tank, make sure you call you're going to touch the point. Because you touching the point allows your DPS to make plays, as you will see in this fight. It allows your DPS to make a lot of plays. If you make sure you let your teammates know that you will touch the point. This goes back to the pointing here. Look what the enemy Winston is going to do. Enemy Winston jumps my backline. I look at him here, but I know for a fact that he has ult. Okay? I know the Winston has ult, so me gonna go swing on the Winston is very bad. So here I just tell my team, just try to live, I'll touch the point. Because one of us has to touch the point soon, right? So I just believe in my backline that they're not going to die to Winston. So I'm going to go on the point and touch it, right? Because your job as a tank is to go on point. And here, because I know that there's like 2 people in my spawn. What I know for a fact is that the enemy has a Kiriko, Mei, and Winston in our spawn. So I see the Chen alone on point here, and I know I have to trade. Like 2 of my teammates just died here. If I just sit on the point, I'm going to lose. Like this is the tank mentality. If you have a chance to, if your backline is getting dove and you're a tank player, you don't want to peel, you need to kill the enemy backline. Especially as Reinhardt. If you're playing Reinhardt in ranked and your backline is getting dove, there's nothing you can do. You have to pin on the enemy backline and try to trade. You have to do something. Like swinging on a Winston Prime does nothing. This is the most important thing. Peeling for your team is killing the enemy backline. And their backline is a Zenyatta. So this fight I have killed their Swordsman once, and now I'm going to kill their Zen. Right, there I made a mechanical mistake. I missed my fire strike. And here I'm fighting for my life. Like this fight has been incredibly well played by me so far, except that fire strike. Ignore that. Big hands. But here the Swordsman rolls into me, and because I kite well with my shield. As you can see here, guys, sometimes you need to drop shield to kite. Like I drop shield so I get some space. I swing on him to scare him away, and then he can't push me anymore. Like here he's too far for him to push. So I run back after killing the Zen, and I killed their Zenyatta, and I made their Swordsman go back. Like look at the amount of space I made. Like the fight went from them killing 2 on our spawn, from me killing their Zen, and forcing their Swordsman to go back all the way here. And now it's just it's a 2v2 on point from a place where 2 of my teammates were dead and they were all alive. So I created absolutely incredible amount of space by going on the backline. And now I'm back here to touch the point. And now the fight is reset. So let's look at the fight one more time, yeah? Remember guys, this is how you play tank, yeah? Most important thing, that this is the biggest mistake I see people do on tank. They peel the backline. Like here, me going on the Winston would have lost us the game. But here I see Monkey jumping, I'm like, nah, there's nothing I can do. He has primal rates. Like a good Winston player doesn't jump like that if he doesn't have ult, right? And then I see the kill feed really soon here. Here I see my Swordsman die, and I'm like, and then I see the Chin kind of alone, so I'm like, I have to kill this Zen. Peeling backline, killing Zen, fucked up fire strike there, happens. Then my brick gives me a really good back here. I kite the Swordsman, then I live, and then enemies just like 3 alive, and they have to go back. So peel by killing backline. This is like fundamentals how you win on tank. Like absolute fundamental of the game. You go on enemy backline with tank, you're going to win. You don't go on enemy backline, you lose. And that's how you gain SR, guys. That's the secret behind all of it. You play around point, and when you can, you trade the backline. That's OW2 tank. Remember the circuit royal clip? You move the point or you pin on backline. And that's how you win on tank, guys. SR every time. Top 10 Reinhardt only, 83 hours, 58 win rate. And that's how you do it, guys. Those are the secrets to tank in OW2 from a guy. There is no guy in the entire ladder who has more games than me. So this is truly the most fundamental play how to play Reinhardt. If I open the leaderboard, I have 437 games played. There is not a single person who is even close to me right now. Well, one of them has 292. But still, it's like no one even has 300 games played. So I have played a lot of tank and been top 10 for like most of the games. So the most important part of Reinhardt as a tank applies to every tank, to be honest, is to pin and go on the squeezes and stay on the point when you need to stay on the point. You need to trade aggro when your squeezes are getting dove. Do not peel your squishies. If there's a diva and tracer, go on the enemy squishies. And that is how you're going to win a lot more. Aggression, stay point, trade backline, easy wins. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to win on tank. Maybe you guys are gonna start winning like me now. Maybe I'll meet you guys in my top 10 EU games. I stream daily, 10 hours a day, playing Reinhardt, and showing the ways of the tank in OW2. So in the future I plan to make tank matchup guides for every single tank in the game when they come up. So if you guys like that, let me know in the comments, and like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one or stream. Bye bye.